Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2 were some of the best Pokemon games we had. While in my opinion the original versions and the sequels have their issues, and even things Black and White 2 improved upon the originals, they went a few steps back. Nevertheless, Gen 5 gives us a varied and a cool region to explore, a great Pokédex minus some bullshit, and great characters, with some characters being some of the coolest from all of Pokemon in my opinion. However, if there's one thing that gets too much credit and regarded as an excellent aspect from Gen 5, is the premise/concept and idea of the story and plot. This has been bothering me for years, and I finally decided to tell you guys why the concept and idea of the Gen 5 story and plot should have never happened, or at least the way they made it and presented it in those games. To understand this and to get my point across, we have to look at a few key characters and what the concept of Black and White story is. We must also look at how Pokemon work and operate on their own and along with humans. I also want to point out that I own all 4 games, played them to completion, have more than 400 hours in Black, and played through White twice, so don't tell me I didn't play the games to know shit. Okay, so the first key figure and most important one is N, an orphan that was raised by Pokemon in nature, and is confirmed to be able to communicate with Pokemon. Keep this in mind because it's semi-important. Next up is Ghetsis. At some point he finds N, claims he's his father, and takes him in. They are the key figures of Team Plasma, whose mission is to liberate all Pokemon from trainers, which is the philosophy of N that Pokemon and humans should live in separate environments, and that Pokemon suffer under humans, being forced to battle and get hurt. Ghetsis is supposed to be behind his philosophy and support it, but in reality he was just using him, taking advantage of his skills and power, with the goal of ruling the world, being the only organization to have Pokemon if the rest of humanity are liberated from Pokemon, and set them free. I could go on a whole different video on how many issues his dumb plan has, but it's not necessarily relevant to this video. Okay, so Pokemon can be somewhat compared to animals. They live in the wild, and from seeing in the anime and games, they can be hostile towards humans, neutral, or even friendly and helpful from their own accord. In fact, they can even have respect towards humans and want to follow them in their own accord. A lot of Pokemon are monsters like Salamence or Gyarados, and they could easily kill humans if they didn't want to be controlled. In my mind, Pokemon are like dogs. If they are shown love, they are happy to hang around humans and help each other. At the same time, they might want you to prove you're worthy by beating their ass first. Now you could say the Pokeball brainwashes the Pokemon to listen to you, but there is countless evidence against that, and even from the same game, Drayden, an old ass cool dragon motherfucker, tells you that they used to be cool and have Pokemon even before Pokeballs were invented. Why would badass monstrous dragon Pokemon want to hang around and listen to humans if the feeling wasn't reciprocal? This is just one example. Pokemon and humans have coexisted and can coexist along humans happily, and N of all characters should have been aware of being saved by Pokemon and having the ability to communicate with them. N's mission, if anything, should have been to find Pokemon abused by humans and help them, not wanting to separate all of them. But what about battling Wolf? What do you have to say about that shit? Pokemon battles between trainers aren't about the law of the jungle, to protect themselves, or for food, but because of trainers' orders. Here's the thing, from the animes and games concept, Pokemon can get beat up in a battle, and then recover like it's nothing, and even humans can get the same treatment, considering the world's mechanics. I saw some Pokemon films and saw Piplup, a water Pokemon, get electric shocked by Pikachu by accident, or as a joke, and then walks off like nothing happened. Fuck, Pokemon's happiness increased by fighting too in the games, and there's everything I said before about the relationship between Pokemon and humans. Awareness, intelligence, feeling of reciprocity. If that's not enough, dig this. We humans fight and compete with each other for sport, entertainment, and self-improvement. Obviously, it's almost the same shit with Pokemon. The idea of a team trying to convince people that their Pokemon don't really want to be with them is like a stranger trying to convince me that my brother hates me when we have an excellent relationship. What about being able to look at your Pokemon's eyes or just straight up ask them and feel their reaction? To me, this story is like a trick, trying to make me question something love and instinct can easily dismiss if my Pokemon are happy with me or not. Nintendo wanted to try to be deep, but ultimately, since this is Pokemon and not something like Bloodborne, half-assed things up, and most people don't even realize. Stories in the previous games were simpler, but because they knew where they stood, you can't complain about them much either. If you're trying to be super ambitious, you can get higher results, but can also fuck up harder. Gen 1, 3, and 4, for example, have simpler stories, but they don't contradict themselves. This is why I think Gen 5's story concept is the most overrated, a flimsy attempt to try and be deep, when it's a concept they should have never bothered touching, at least the way they did. Now, I still think N is a great character. He's one of my favorites along with Charon and Chorus from Gen 5. The idea of Team Plasma trying to trick people into releasing their Pokemon is dumb as fuck though. Thank you guys for watching this video. I might have had more to say but can't think of, so hope you guys enjoyed, hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends, and think about it a little before you hate. SaberWolf94, what's up?